All right, welcome back from that report. Well, joining me to talk about the first conversation for tonight is the person of Francis Okoye, who is a public affairs analyst, and by extension, we can say that he's also a member of the All Progressive Congress. You're welcome to Big Talk here on Global Television.
Thank you for having me, Sunday. Good evening. Welcome, viewers.
All right, so let's even look at this conversation elaborately. We've seen President Bola Tinubu given flag to the Anambra gubernatorial candidates for the November election. A lot of people will say that the president recognizing the Nicholas at this point in time comes with a dual representation of the president. Well, even though he has also given his blessing to Charles Soludo when he went to inaugurate some project in Anambra just some few weeks ago. But what do you make of all of this? Your take on the various divisions right that we have, even from spectators that say that the president is giving different blessing to Jacob and to Esau in this particular instance?
I think such assertion is totally wrong. Our president, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is a man of his words. He's not a man of double standards as we know him from day one. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, our president, GCFR, was in Anambra State May 8, 2025. And he was in Anambra State specifically on a state visit, on the invitation of the state governor, the outgoing governor, Professor Charles Soludo.
We can confirm that statement if he's an outgoing governor.
You give me floor.
All right, please go ahead.
In that state visit, he came. We all witnessed that Anambra State is the only state that a sitting president has visited, and the visit did not last more than 4 hours. President Tinubu came to Anambra State, and he arrived around, I was there, I was at the venue of the reception at the airport. He arrived Anambra State at the early hours of 11 a.m. Before it was 4 p.m., Tinubu has left Anambra State. So Tinubu did not, if you minus even the time he spent on the roads to reach the 3 venues he commissioned, the 3 projects, you will notice that Tinubu did not spend more than 2 hours in Anambra State. Why did he spend just 2 hours in Anambra State? Because the state governor had nothing to show for the president to commission. The president commissioned a government house that was started by 3 previous administrations in Anambra State. Mbadinju started that government house. He couldn't finish it. There was a court case under the government of Peter Obi. Peter Obi couldn't finish it. Now, Obiano came in. Obiano couldn't equally finish it. Soludo now came and finished the government house. That was the first thing that our president came to commission. The second thing was what we now call Janglova, children playground. These are the 2 major things that brought Tinubu to Anambra State. And we have not seen a state where a president will be invited on a presidential visit, working visit, to come and commission such shabby, non-economical projects. Projects that are not of economical value to the people. Because that is a residential house of the governor, for crying out loud. How could you invite the president for such commissioning? That's number 1. Then number 2, a playing ground that an individual can build in Anambra State, that you can bring private sectors, collaborate with them, give them an able environment. They come and set up such things. This is what a state government is celebrating. So that's why the president didn't see need to spend more than 2 hours in Anambra State. Other presidential visits that Tinubu went to, Katsina, Abia, Enugu, and other states, he commissioned worthy projects that are of economic value. Some states he slept. In Katsina he slept because there are enormous projects to commission. But in Anambra there was none. So he didn't stay more than 2 hours, he left. So that was that. So Tinubu did not, let me say it equivocally here on this station, Tinubu did not endorse Soludo at that visit. It was specifically a state visit. Tinubu said Soludo was my friend. I don't think you expect the president to tell Soludo that he's his enemy. The president has everybody. The president has always run an administration that he carries everybody along, both from people from his party and from opposition parties. He's a Democrat. We know him as a Democrat. So he went to Anambra State and called Soludo my friend. He can even go further to say that Soludo is doing well. Does that mean an endorsement? It's not an endorsement. You don't expect the president to go to Anambra State and tell Soludo to his face that he's not doing well. No president will do that. So Soludo was not endorsed by our president at that state visit. So you saying that the president has endorsed Soludo earlier and yesterday endorsing Nkukoma, Nicholas Okachukwu again is double standard. I think it is an insult to our president for the media or for some people to misconstrue the president as being a man of double standards, supporting Soludo and equally supporting Nkukoma. No, the only endorsement that we know is the one that took place yesterday at the presidential villa in Abuja, May 26, 2025, where the president specifically gave a charge to the gubernatorial candidate of our party, Prince Dr. Nicholas Okachukwu, and his running mate, distinguished Senator Uche Lilian Ekunife, PhD, for them to go and deliver Anambra State for APC. In his words, he said, "Go and get me Anambra State." That was what the president said. So the president is a party man. We all know him as a party man. Since the president came in, we have seen the way people from other parties are joining APC. The other day, Governor of Delta State joined APC. We are waiting for Governor of Akwa Ibom State, who will join before June ending. So if the president is bringing other people into his party, how could he now go at the end and support somebody from APGA? It's not possible. We know our president as somebody who is a true party man. He's not a Buhari president. He's a Tinubu president.
All right, so let's quickly debunk the fact that Governor Soludo is an outgoing governor of Anambra State. We cannot authoritatively say that on this table. This will begin to apply into the responsibility of INEC, who happens to be the electoral umpire for Nigeria in deciding who stays and who goes out of office. But then again, to the issue of this whole perception and narrative that President Bola Tinubu has given his blessing and support to Governor Soludo proud this time. At the field, we saw President Tinubu saying that it is time for the progressives to work together. And of course, the All Progressive Grand Alliance belongs to the progressive, if you want to look at it from that perspective. And of course, the president did not talk down at any point, even on Soludo in all of those, in his outing in Anambra State. Now, permit us to say that some of the words of the president, some of the things that the president said in that visit, sounded like an endorsement to Governor Soludo Charles. And again, let me even align the thoughts. Then again, we now look at all of this. What would I say? Throughout the president's visit in Anambra State, we didn't see the president even try to have a meeting with the people of the members of the All Progressive Congress. We didn't see the president also handing over flag to Okachukwu, as the case may be, only for the president to return back to Abuja. All this narrative tend to be a state of confusion and creates some form of distortion in people's thoughts. So permit those of us in the media space to think along this line that the president has given his blessing to Charles Soludo. But back to the matter.
First of all,
yeah, please go ahead.
First of all, Sunday, let me correct the wrong narrative you are generating in your last statement, that you didn't see the president hand over flag to our candidate in Anambra, but he now came to Abuja and now handed over the flag. As far as I'm concerned, there has never been a time the presidential the leader of the party or even the president of any party in Nigeria, whether during Jonathan, Yaradua, Buhari, or even the current administration of Tinubu, where party flags are handed over when campaign has not started in the state where the candidate is running for the election. Where such happens is the final flag off, which comes like 3 or 2 days to the election. That is where the president or any representative of the president will come to the state and hand over flag and raise the candidate's hand. It happens only 2 or 3 days to election. Go and check the records. Nobody can dispute this thing I am saying here. Okay. Now, election campaign is starting in July. So you don't expect the president to go and hand Okachukwu or the running mate or 2 of them flag in an event being hosted by APGA. Remember, it was only APC that invited the president. It was APGA, like I told you, a state visit. APC has nothing to do with that visit. APC has nothing to do with that visit. Forget the fact that our presence were felt throughout the process of the visit, because they have been saying that APC is not existing in Anambra State. So we came with an arrangement to receive the president at the airport. After receiving him at the airport, he now goes into the state with the APGA-led governor and the commission whatever project he wants to commission, and then go back to Abuja. So you don't expect the president to host the APC people or to have a meeting with us. That is what we call you. You're a media person. You know all these protocols in any presidential visit. It must be according to what was planned. And what was the planning? State visit. So you don't mix it up with the president coming to have a handshake with APC people in Anambra, or coming to take a picture, or handing over flag. No. Sunday, you the one talking this. No. Well, it is out of place. Well, that is it.
People will say again that it is due to the fact that APC was divided against itself.
Sorry. I forgot to address one thing.
Okay, please.
You also mentioned about the issue of the president dancing with Soludo, and the president not saying any bad words against Soludo. Sunday, the president has visited many states before coming to Anambra State. If I quote what he told Peter Mba when he went to Enugu State, you will notice that the sweet words he gave to Peter Mba are even bigger than the words he gave to Soludo. Does that now have to tell you that, are you not going to conclude that the president has endorsed Peter Mba of PDP in Enugu State?
But in the light of the matter,
I'm coming, yeah, Sunday. Let us not misquote the president. Yes. Endorsement is an endorsement. If the president wants to endorse Soludo, he will use the word endorsement, and he will come out of, even if he doesn't want to use the word endorsement, he will say, I am with Soludo on this election. He will use the word election. There are many languages or many words that we expect the president to utter. That
the most prominent word we heard that day was, it is time for progressives to work together.
Yes, the issue of progressive. Yes. Our Progressive Congress, APGA, is progressive. Yes. APC is progressive. Even YPP is progressive.
Yes.
Why can't they work together? The president, has he not been working together with the governor even prior before now? They've been working together. I've not seen where the president is attacking the governor. I've not seen where the president is doing policies and segregating that of APGA. They are working together. And in fact, Soludo was asked in that very meeting that you're talking about to go and deliver Ikukwama. That is the truth.
Oh, all right. You have said that Soludo was told to go and deliver the person of
Soludo even accepted it, because Soludo said that APC is the bigger progressive, that they are the smaller progressive. So the bigger progressive has swallowed the smaller progressive.
Members of
APC is swallowing APGA.
So APGA will not want to subscribe to what you've said so far. But then the president being silent since the election was conducted on the 15th of April, recall that the president of Ozugbo has sued the All Progressive Congress to court to say that they've deprived him of his mandate. Could all of this narrative from why the president was silent this long before handing over the flag to the president of
any state where election primary has been conducted and the president hands over flag within a week?
It is more than a month right now.
I'm telling you,
the case of Anambra,
the primary was conducted. Yeah. The president was not in Nigeria.
Yes.
Are you not aware?
We're aware.
The president came back. The next thing he went to Lagos. The president, after coming back to Lagos, he went travel again. The next thing he traveled to Rome.
It's almost
so the president,
it's going to almost too much.
Leave his private or state visits abroad or important things he should be doing just to come and hand over flag that has not expired. The primary of that primary was held on April 5th, and he handed over flag just 52 days after. You are complaining. I am asking you now. Tell me, I'm coming. 52 days, I'm coming. Yeah. Tell me any state where primary was conducted, and within 30 days, just prove me wrong here. Within 30 days, and flag was handed over. Just prove me wrong.
Well, it's not in my place to prove.
So that is it. So there is no criteria. There is no deadline. Election is coming in the next 5 months and 3 weeks. And you are complaining about flag.
I'm not a member of the
opposition party. Even opened
neither am I a member of
the starting in July, and you are complaining.
All right, so let's move on away from that conversation. Now let's look at the instruction given by Mr. President. Go and get me Anambra. Now that sounds very instructive and particular to this candidate as it stands right now. But looking at Go Get Me Anambra as a statement coming from Mr. President, are the people of Anambra dissatisfied with the governance and the procedures or policies being put in place by Charles Soludo based on the number of people that came out in Awka to even welcome Mr. President in his last visit? Can one say that Soludo has not gotten it right even in Anambra State for the last couple of years, 3.5 years so far?
Talking about the number of people coming out to welcome the president, mobilized by APGA or Soludo, the governor, that is not a criteria to judge whether a governor or a leader is doing well. Anybody can mobilize crowd. So keep that one aside. Then on the issue of the charge given to our candidate by Mr. President yesterday during the presentation of flag, that charge was very, very emphatic. That charge was an indication that even the president knows that the governor of Anambra State is not doing well. Just look at it. The president just left Anambra State 2 weeks ago. Yesterday, he presented flag to his candidate. It shows that within the last 2 weeks that the president left Anambra State, he has been assessing what he transpired in that visit. And he told himself that, no. How could I have been brought from Abuja down to Anambra with all the cost it takes to bring a president to a state? And I could stay only 2 hours. Not just 2 hours, I could only commission Jangulova and the residential house of the governor. The president was disappointed. So even if the president had before thought to or thought of supporting Soludo, that visit alone has shown him that Soludo is a total disappointment and doesn't deserve any support. That is the truth. Then coming to we Anambrarians, I'm an Anambrarian. I'm not speaking because I'm an APC member. I'm speaking because I am one who was born in Abia State, schooled secondary school in Anambra, schooled university in Anambra, did my almost all my first 5 years after university, first 10 years after university in Anambra, worked in Anambra and all that before relocating to Abuja 6 years ago. I am someone who has seen it all, and there is no month that I don't go to Anambra State twice or even thrice. There is no month that I don't visit Anambra. So this is not a question of somebody talking out of what he doesn't know. I am talking out of experience. Okay, judging from what the president saw on ground, if the governor has done well, the president should have commissioned flyovers, bridges, roads, industries. Since Soludo came into office, Soludo has not attracted any industry into Anambra State. And that is what Ikwama has been saying. See, Nicholas Okachuwa candidate, since he started his own campaign or started addressing people what he will do differently, that he will make Anambra State an industrial hub, bring in foreign direct investment, collaborate with private sectors, individuals who will come and invest in Anambra State, create industries so that our children will see where they will work and will generate employment. These are major things we need. Then issue of security. Soludo has not tackled insecurity that has been ravaging Anambra State in the last 2 years plus. Why? Because he's playing politics with the issue of insecurity in Anambra State. He went and hired people who were not trained to come and become Aguneche Emba of Anambra State. You see them every day. They go out there killing people, extorting money from motorists and all whatnot, kidnapping people. Meanwhile, these are people he brought to secure us. Is that how to tackle insecurity? So what I'm saying is that we Anambrarians are dissatisfied with Soludo's 3 years in office. That is the simple truth. A typical Anambrarian wants Soludo out of office. And that is why the president gave Nicholas Okachuwa that charge yesterday with his deputy, Senator Uche Punife, go and get me Anambra State. Anambra State must go to APC come November 8th.
Well, come November 8th, it is that Anambra will be going to the polls to decide who becomes their next governor. But speaking of the issues around Anambra State, one begin to ask a silly question again. What's the guarantee that if Okachukwu goes to the polls, that the court will not rule otherwise, that the election that brought him into the front line, and of course the primaries, as said by Ozugbo, it's a fraud that has brought him into existence, that brought him into the limelight. And if this be the case, that it is a case of fraud, we cannot build on nothing in this particular
Sunday,
case.
you were not in that primary. Well, I was a delegate in that primary. Let me address Ozugbo's issue.
All right, please go ahead.
It has reached a time where, if it is in my place in Anambra, it is high time we told Ozugbo the truth.
All right.
Yes. And what is the truth? This is a man who left PDP, joined Labour Party. From Labour Party, he didn't stay long. He now joined the APC. Val Ozugbo joined APC today. The following morning, he went and procured APC governorship form. Where has that ever been done?
As a bona fide member, I think he's entitled to.
I'm coming. He was given a waiver. I'm not arguing about it.
Go ahead.
I'm trying to tell you
the background
of the nonsense he's talking about. Now, somebody that entered the party today, the following morning, you procured governorship form. Not up to 2 weeks, the primary was held. Yes, accepted. He may say he didn't have enough time, but 2 weeks or 3 weeks was enough time for a serious candidate to engage all the delegates or would-be delegates of that primary. Val Ozugbo did not engage anybody. He did not engage not even one person among all the people that later emerged as delegates in that primary. That is the number one. Then number two, let's assume you didn't engage anybody. You believe that maybe on the day of primary, people will still vote for you based on your so-called bloated or over-bloated credentials. Then on the day of primary too, he didn't equally go to seat before the commencement of voting to at least talk to people. See, a typical Anambrarian is a proud person. Proud in the sense that you may be a qualified person, eminently qualified, but they will be saying, he did not come to see me, he did not come to consult me, let him come and win. That is a typical Anambrarian. We are proud people. So if there are people who would have even voted him on that day, but because of the fact that he was feeling that he had enough credential that would give him a win, whether he consults or mobilize or sensitize or reach out to anybody, that he will eventually win. That was the type of background he kept himself, and at the end of the day he failed woefully. Look at the number of votes. Nicholas Okachu was scoring 1,455. Val Ozugbo was scoring 60 something. Look at the margin, and the same person is claiming that he was marginalized. Now go and look at the case he filed in court. He was not saying that Okachuku did not emerge winner, or that the process that led to Okachukwu's dissent was not. He was only saying that Okachukwu was not qualified. Now the word qualified, we asked him, he said he will explain it in court. We are waiting for him to explain what it means that Okachukwu is not qualified in court. When he comes here, he will explain what he means by he's not qualified. Okachukwu is not qualified. He has run for House of Reps in 1999, won, stayed in office for 4 years from 1999 to 2003. The same Okachukwu, our candidate now, has equally run for Senate, ran for governor twice, yet is not qualified. All those periods, INEC did not deem him disqualified, not to have allowed him to contest. Is Valentine Ozugbo that is claiming that Nicholas Okachukwu is not qualified. Please, Sunday, Prince Dr. Nicholas Okachukwu, I'm saying it on this studio, is the eminently qualified person to take the flag of APC in Anambra State. And the party has decided. No court, I'm telling you, I'm not trying to dispute what the court will say, but I'm telling you in authority based on what happened on that primary day, no court will ever strike out or
so
dispute what has happened.
Even though Val Ozugbo is saying that the election was aired in error.
That is what I'm telling you. Val Ozugbo has no case.
Well,
he has no case.
He's a member of the All Progressive
All ramification, he has no case.
Vote that was given to him.
He's our party member.
We are not denying for the election.
Okay, look at what he said the other day, that he can only remove his case from court if he's brought in a round table with the president. Or have you not heard him say that? He said that twice on TV station. Now, if you look at that statement, you will see a man who, from ab initio, never planned becoming the candidate. He wanted recognition so that the president will call him, assuage him, maybe promise him ministerial or whatever appointment. That is what Val Ozugbo is looking for, not the governorship of Anambra State. Because if other people that would have contested that primary had contested, Val Ozugbo would have come last.
All right, but then again, when you talk about Val Ozugbo coming from PDP to Labour Party to now to the All Progressive Congress, but within the political space, Val Ozugbo tend to be more recognized, pulling more political weight, like a political bigwig when it has to do with Anambra State. And most people will say within the Anambra will say,
I will have to continue.
Anambra will say,
no, Sunday,
let me drop this. Anambra will say that. Anambra will say that. Let me drop on this one.
Sunday, no,
I will say that.
Disagree with you.
Okay, let me get your take. Let me get you talk.
Valentine Ozigbo is unpopular compared with Nicholas Okachukwu. This is a man who has run for governor twice, and he ran on the shoulder of Peter Obi. Without Peter Obi, who is Valentine Ozigbo? Who is Valentine Chineto Ozigbo without Peter Obi? Valentine Ozigbo was a hotelier, known to be managing Transcorp Hotel prior before entering politics 5 years ago. While Nicholas Okachukwu has run House of Assembly since 1999, ran for local government since 1998.
Right now that if Val and Okachukwu are placed before Soludo,
placing if you place Ojibo, place Soludo, and place Nicholas Okachukwu, you will remove Val Ojibo one side and be comparing Soludo and Nicholas Okachukwu. Val will go one side. He's nobody without Peter Obi. That is what I will tell you. Go to his page now. Go to his Facebook page, where anytime he posts something, he will lock the comment box. Is he one of the people and he's locking it? Because he has run out of favor with the people. And who are those people? Majority of those people that love him are people who love Peter Obi. Because of the fact that he betrayed Peter Obi and left Peter Obi's party and joined APC, all of them now are giving him fire and brimstone. He has no background, electoral value, none. I am saying it.
Well, this is coming from your own opinion. People from Anambra will say the other.
Am I not an Anambra?
Well, you are one out of numerous that, of course, our survey has shown, even online voting has shown that if you place these two candidates simultaneously, that even the Soludo will even be afraid to come to the poll, known fully well.
It is now that Soludo is afraid. It is now.
Rather, with Okachukwu,
Soludo was already fronting that nothing will. If you don't know it, Soludo was at the background fronting, putting all sorts of money into our primary to ensure that Val Ozigbo wins.
Invariably, you're saying
because Soludo wants somebody who he can defeat so easily.
Okay, so you're saying that Soludo.
They didn't see Nkoma coming.
So you're saying that Soludo championed the cause.
Everybody now. Is it not after Okachukwu emergence that Soludo started running to the
president? So you were saying that Soludo championed. Let's get you. You were saying that Soludo championed the cause of division in the All Progressive Congress in order to ensure that
that is what I said, and I'm saying election authority. Yes.
All right, but there's no fact to support this whole claim and assertion.
Let somebody come and dispute it from here.
All right, we'll get members of the All Progressive Grand Alliance to talk to us about some of these concerns as it borders on this allegation being posed by you in order to disprove what you've said so far. How correct is that assertion that Governor Soludo of the All Progressive Grand Alliance was the primary force that was championing the division within the All Progressive Congress, if I get you correct?
Yes.
All right. Now, let's look again at the President Bola Ahmed declaration and of unwavering support for the person of Okachukwu, and that's Nicholas and his running mate Uche Ekunife, if I get that correctly. Now, looking at all of this, President Tinubu coming out to say, I've supported this unwavering support for this candidate right now. What is the strength and the popularity of this candidate outside the All Progressive Congress, even among the people from the various senatorial districts in Anambra State as it stands right now? If you want to test their popularity, will you say that they are very popular to even want to champion the cause of and front the president's instruction and be able to carry out that mandate of go and get me Anambra? How popular are they at the grassroots, rural communities, and also within the average Anambrians?
Our candidate, Prince Dr. Nicholas Okachukwu, and his deputy governorship candidate, Senator Dr. Lillian Uche Ekunife, are very much on ground among the electoral populace of Anambra State. Let me start with Nicholas Okachukwu. Like I said earlier, this is a man who has run for House of Reps, won, entered office, ran for local government chairman, won, entered office, ran for Senate, won, but was denied the mandate. Let me stop at that. Then Nicholas Okachukwu is also a philanthropist, a man who has set up many industries in Anambra State, employing many indigent and non-indigent citizens of Anambra State in Onitsha, in Mpo. This is a man who has constructed roads, many kilometers of roads in his Osumeni community and in Nnewi at large. This is a man who has procured houses, built houses for many widows, many poor and downtrodden. This is a man who has helped many youths to secure employment, many youths to become persons in life, to become successful in terms of empowerment, in terms of making them earn a good living. This is Nicholas Okachukwu. His name rings bell among the populace of Anambra State. You talk of his deputy governorship candidate, Senator Lilian Uche Epunife. This is a woman who we call grassroots mobilizer. There is no woman in Anambra politics today living that can challenge that woman in terms of popularity, in terms of grassroots appeal, which Epunife tops number one. She has been a House of Rep member, two-time House of Rep member, two-time senator, a woman who is a philanthropist, a woman who is a go-getter, a woman whose second name is Oji Employment Mogo, meaning a woman who always dishes out employment even when she's not in office. Now she's no longer in office as a senator, but she still creates employment, goes out of her way, reaching out to people who she can solicit slot for and give to the youths of Anambra State for them to start earning a living. So how can anybody come out and say that these two people are not popular among the populace of Anambra? Now let me give you a shocker. Prior before Soludo became our governor, he has never held any elective post aside being governor of Central Bank. Remember that a typical Anambra man who is at Okoye, who is at Kenibo, who is at Umuoji, a typical Anambra man in these places do not know who a CBN governor is. But some of them knows who House of Rep member is. Some of them knows who somebody who has been a senator is. So if Soludo has not held any elective post, yet he emerged governor 3 years ago, is it these people now who have held the elective post, Okachukwu and Epunife, that you will say that they cannot be able to be elected or cannot be popular among the Anambra populace?
Well, just because of time constraint, just before I let you go on this conversation, APGA has been known to be the political party for the East, based on the fact that Odumegu Ojukwu has championed the cause for APGA. Is there a possibility right now that narrative is about to change, known fully well what Odumegu Ojukwu stood for in terms of its developmental agenda for the southeastern part of Nigeria?
Ojukwu was one of our greatest patriots. In fact, one of our top three as far as Igbo land and Anambra in particular is concerned. We respect him so much. And it was because of that respect we had for him that many people were rooting for APGA, especially when Ojukwu was alive. Since Ojukwu died, APGA started dwindling to the barest minimum. Remember, there was a time APGA had 2 or 3 states, controlling 2 states Imo and Anambra, and I think one other state too. Remember, there was a time APGA had up to 13 House of Rep members. There was a time APGA had about 3 senators. Can you say such of APGA today? All those things are non-existent again. Soludo, since he took over, has removed, prior before Soludo came in, there is this head of Ojukwu that they always attach on every APGA uniform. Today, such uniform no longer exists. What you now see is Soludo's head or normal APGA uniform. They have practically removed the head
chopped off the head of
Ojukwu. Yeah. So that is to tell you how they have diminished the man Ojukwu. So trying to tell us that they will use the same man to sway voters or votes to their favor in this coming November 8th election, it is not going to business as usual again. Soludo, like I am telling you, will not be re-elected come November 8th.
All right, let's go for a short break right now. When we come back, we'll talk even on our second issue right here on